Friends, I am Prabuddha Biswas and welcome to my YouTube channel Forgotten Past. Today I will speak on the topic Humayun's tomb. The life of Humayun, second Mughal emperor, was marked by struggle and vicissitude. He ascended the throne of Delhi after the death of his father Babur in 1530. The Mughal empire was not yet firm on its foundations, and Humayun had to suppress a number of rebellions at the outset of his reign. Early success was followed by prolonged disaster. In 1539, Sher Khan, an Afghan nobleman who ruled over tracts of what is now Bihar and Bengal, rose victoriously against him, and the vanquished Emperor Humayun fled the country. And Humayun spent 15 years in exile, some of them at the court of Shah Thamsab of Persia, and in 1555 returned with a borrowed Persian army, recovered his lost dominion, and re-established the Mughal Empire. But he did not long survive his return and died on January 19, 1556 after a fall on the steps of his library in Sher Mandal, a monument inside what is today called Purana Kila. Initially, Humayun was buried in Purana Kila, but according to some scholars, the emperor's remains were removed from there to Supurdgah, or temporary tomb in Sirin, present-day Punjab, when Hemu advanced upon Delhi in 1556 and the Mughals had to vacate the city. Humayun was reburied in the Sher Mandal again when Akbar defeated Hemu and was moved into the mausoleum erected in 1569 by his widow Haji Begum at an estimated cost of rupees 15 lakhs. Scholars have disagreed over the date of construction. Sayyid Ahmad Khan, in his book Asaras Fanadid, written in 1846, part 3, page 56, gives the date of its construction as 1565 AD. And this date has been followed by all later writers. But an older manuscript of the Siyarul Manzil by Sangin Beg, written in late 18th century, at present in the Delhi Red Fort Museum, states that the foundation of the tomb was laid in the 14th year of Akbar's reign, that is in 1569. This is to be noted that Babur was a true Timurid with equal measure of martial and artistic skills. He had an abiding passion for books and gardens and was an accomplished poet. Few of his gardens in India survive, but the Baburnama does. This memoir spans Babur's transition from a nomad prince to the emperor of Hindustan. Babur's son Humayun, although not lacking in personal courage, was certainly not as able commander as his father. To be fair to him, Humayun set about to develop a new city in keeping with the Timurid traditions of his forefathers. Soon after his accession, he laid the foundation of a new city by the river Jamuna and grandly called it Dinapanna, or the refuge of the faithful. But that project never saw fruition, for he soon lost his kingdom to Sher Shah Suri. A radially symmetrical plan, a garden setting, and a bulbous double dome on an elongated drum are the main features of Humayun's tomb. Most 15th century Timurid architecture was built to symmetrical plans. These included monuments such as the Ghuri Mir, built in 1404, built by Timur for grandson at Samarkand, and which was his final resting place as well. Ishrat Khane, also at Samarkand, and the shrine of Abu Nasr, Parsa at Balkh, both built in 1460, between 60 and 64. The Ghuri Mir also had a bulbous dome and a high drum that was repeated in Humayun's tomb, the first mausoleum for an emperor of the Mughal dynasty. As one of the first important buildings the Mughals erected in India, Humayun's tomb introduced purely Persian features to the subcontinent, but it also drew several elements from the land it was built in. The red sandstone and white marble, for instance, was a common feature of the 14th century architecture of the Delhi Sultanate. The mausoleum of Humayun and the enclosure walls are built of three kinds of stone. The walls and two gateways are of local quartzite with red sandstone dressing and marble inlay. The red sandstone for the main building came from Tantpur near Agra and was used with white marble from Makrana in Rajasthan. Humayun's tomb is significant as the first grand dynastic garden tomb in the Indian subcontinent, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a key influence on later Mughal architecture, including the Taj Mahal. It represents a blend of Persian, Indian and Islamic architectural styles and is also significant historically as the resting place for many Mughal emperors. No other mausoleum contains so many distinguished dead of the Mughal dynasty as the mausoleum of Humayun. Although his three immediate successors were buried elsewhere, that is Akbar, Jahangir and Shah Jahan, most of the last later emperors, princes and princesses as well, their attendants lie buried close to him. The identification of individual graves are uncertain since all are uninscribed. It is said that in the subsidiary chambers of the mausoleum are buried Humayun's two wives, Haji Begum, who initiated the building of her husband's tomb, and Hamida Banu Begum, Akbar's mother. The headless body of Dara Shikoh, the unfortunate son of Shah Jahan, was murdered by the ruthless Aurangzeb, and a string of later Mughal emperors, including Jahandar Shah, Farrukhsiyar and Aurangzeb II, are also buried here. Humayun's tomb has great architectural significance, such as first garden tomb. It was the first of its kind on the Indian subcontinent, popularizing Persian-inspired charbagh, that is four-part garden layout. Second, the architectural precedent. Humayun's tomb grand-scale design and garden setting set a precedent for later Mughal imperial projects, notably Taj Mahal. Third is the fusion style. It showcases harmonious blend of Islamic, Persian and Indian architectural elements, a hallmark of the Mughal era. Architectural innovation. It was the first large-scale structure to use red sandstone and is a prime example of the meticulous geometric precision in Mughal design. Humayun's tomb has also historical and cultural significance. It is a dynastic resting place. The tomb was commissioned by Bega Begum or the Haji Begum and later became the burial site of 6 subsequent Mughal emperors and many other royal family members, earning it the nickname the dormitory of the Mughals. Second, symbols of legacy. It served as the powerful symbol of Mughal dynastic imperial authority and legacy, which is why it was seen as a place of pilgrimage by the later emperors. Third, end of an era. In the final days of Mughal dynasty, the last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar, sought sanctuary here before his arrest by the British commanders, reinforcing high regard for the Humayun's mausoleum, even at the end of the Mughal Empire. Fourth is the cultural synthesis. The tomb's architecture reflects the cultural synthesis that occurred under the Mughal rule. The builder of Humayun's tomb, is said to have been built under the supervision of the Mirak Mirza Giyas, an architect of Persian descent. It is said that Haji Begum was greatly taken with the Persian style of building and commissioned Giyas precisely because of his familiarity with the architecture of that region. And the Persian builder, who had worked extensively on Herat and Bukhara, gave India its first dome in the Persian tradition. The Humayun's tomb was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1993 and is acknowledged of outstanding universal value. The information has been shared from the book Humayun's Tomb, World Heritage Series, published by the Archaeological Survey of India. Friends, if you find my video informative, please do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you. See you again in my next video.